Hello my loves, I am delighted to introduce you to this lovely little vintage cooking stove recipe box. On the front we've got this lovely stove, we've got sentiment. On the side we've got these lovely sentiments as well. Little one on the front, and we've got a little closure here. If we open this up, we reveal a beautiful little cooking stove like that, and each of these little pots and the little kettle is a slider tab that you can completely remove, and it pops back into its little slot there like that. On the floor we've got this beautiful rug, and we've got this pair of slippers. If we pull the slippers, we reveal another little index card with writing space on both sides. That slides back in, the slippers slide over the top of the rug, and then we have our little hidden tag there. So that's the pop-up. That's the beautiful stove there, looking absolutely gorgeous. And then if we slide open the drawer of our box, let's have a look what's inside. We've got this lovely folder, and I've only printed out one of these for the sake of the video. You can print out as many as you want so that you can organise your recipes however you wish. And you also get with the kit these lovely index cards. And again, you can print out as many of these as you want. And you also get a little pocket so that you can make an index card with a pocket on, trim another index card down slightly. I've rounded the corners of that one, looks really nice. And you can pop that in your card, in your pocket. If you've got recipes that want a little bit more information, or a couple of recipes that work together, or however you might want to organise that, you can organise that. And you can print out as many of these little folders as you want for further organisation. Now this is a commercially available index card, 3 inches by 5 inches, and this kit was designed to take these cards, so you can use these if you want to. Because I've cut on a Cricut machine, I've lost a little bit of size with the print then cut feature, so I've had to trim that down just slightly, but no great shakes, works fine. And all of your recipes can be stored a lot away in the drawer like that. Close the drawer, pop your closure in. It can either go inside the drawer or it can go inside this little front tuck here, and there you have it. There is your lovely little pop-up stove recipe box. Come with me and let's see how we make it. So here are all my bits and bobs cut out. I've got stove 1, which is all these pieces here, and I've reverse printed that with backing sheet 7. I've got stove 2 here, which has got these little slippers on, so don't lose those. I've also reverse printed this page with the backing sheet. I've got stove 3 here, which has got the pockets and these index cards on, and I reverse printed those with stove 8. Now a word about these. This kit has been designed to work with 3 by 5 index cards if you want to use these instead. Now because I've cut on a Cricut, I've lost a little bit of space, a little bit of size, because of the print then cut feature. So you can see how big my index cards are compared to these index cards. Also you'll notice mine have got lines going across them like that way, and the ones that you buy have usually got lines going across them that way. But if I want to use these, no biggie, I'll just trim them down to suit. Then we have got stove 4. Stove 4 is the actual box itself. I've reverse printed that with the plain backing sheet. Then I've got stove 5, which is the sleeve for the box, and I've reverse printed that as well. And then I've got stove 6, which has got this little pot on it and these little folding cards here, and I've reverse printed those with the paler of the backing sheets, with stove 7 with the plain backing sheet. So there we go, they're all the pieces, all cut out. I'm slightly smaller, like I say. If you're cutting by hand, yours will be slightly larger, and they'll fit your standard sized index cards. Right, let's get started and make the box and the sleeve first. So I've got creases to follow, I've got lines to follow rather, to make me scores on my folds. Loving this little stripe. on the sides of the box here. There we go, and I've also got my box, might as well score that while I'm here. I'm going to go right across. And the same on the other side. If you've made a few of my projects, you'll be no stranger to this box design. I really like it because it gives you an extra rigid side because it's got 2 layers to the sides. Doesn't matter if you go straight across these flaps here when you're scoring this page. My daughter fiddling about in the background. Right, now we're going to snip. Whether you're cutting by hand or a Cricut, you're going to need to snip down to separate these tabs. And if you get a bit confused about where you should be snipping, you're always snipping opposite the slanted end. So I'm just going to go all 4 of those. There, and now I'm going to fold all of these sections. I might employ a folding blade. I'm going to fold all of these sections into the middle. I've got a nicer folding bone than this somewhere. There she is. And don't blindly follow your score lines. Check that everything's lining up at 90 degrees to everything else. I'm not going to do all of this on camera. And you've also got the same with your sleeve. You're just going to fold all of these pieces to the plainer side. In box, we can go ahead and put glue on these tabs. This is the outside of the box you're seeing here, the darker side with the lines on it. So glue on your tabs. And you want that to go tacky so you get an instant grab, save you faffing about. There we go. And then fold your tabs under 90 degrees, nice sharp box corner, and then do this little sliding action like this, so you pull everything tight. I'm going to have to cut quick here, my glue's drying rapidly. There we go. I wonder how many of these boxes I've made. Quite a few by now. There we go. So there's your main box shape, looking nice and sharp and tight. And then you can go ahead and glue all of these top tabs here, which is an awkward angle for the video. So I'll quickly rush through those. Go and fold them down. Now, I like to fold the long ones down first. They take a little bit more time to glue. You can let your glue go tacky if you like. I don't seem to be doing that. I'll just chase them round and keep sticking them down until they do what they're told. There we go. So that's the base of my drawer. Done. Let's stick. You can fold your tab over, fold this section over to meet it. So just do that. Check that you're folding the right fold and it's not sticking out over there like that. Get some glue on your tab. This is the inside of your box now, with the outside bit of tab folding over here. So get some glue on there. Encourage that to go tacky, nice and quickly. Bring your top piece over and squish it down. Turn it over, check everything's looking lovely, which it is. And there is a bit of glue there. And there's your box sleeve, all nice. The moment of truth, let's pop it in, see if it fits. There we go, lovely job. And get those corners nice and sharp. And let this glue dry properly. There we go, lovely. Right, while I've got the box base here, I might as well have a look at these pieces. Now these two pockets I've cut on my Cricut. I've stuck them together like that because I needed to save the space on the page, so you can slip those in half. These little guys are going to have their tabs scored. You don't have to use these pockets. I just thought this was a very nice little addition to your index cards. Like I say, if you're cutting by hand, and there's a lot of square shapes on this kit, so you'll be grand cutting by hand. You've only got a little bit of fiddly fussy cutting to do. You can fit these onto a standard index card. You could, in fact, if you wanted to, go to town with fussies and sentiments and things and make tags out of index cards. What a nice little idea. Well done me. Right. These are my little pockets. I'm going to ink up this edge because I can't get to it later. Same with this one. Now I haven't printed myself many index cards yet. I wanted to crack on and make the tutorial. I might just use one of the pockets actually for now. But let's get them ready anyway. I like this one with the rose on it. It echoes the rug on the actual pop-up, which we'll get to in a minute. I'm really excited for it. There we go. So you can pop, if you want to, a little card on the bottom there. What am I doing? That's not what we need. We need glue, Emma. We need glue. Yes, you can pop a little pocket on the bottom of your index card there. Stick it down. And then, if you're a recipe, or you want a little collection of recipes even, to go in one space, and this was my idea for this, I would then trim down one of my index cards to fit in there. Let's do that now. Here we go. So here's an index card. I've trimmed down just a little tiny bit, and I've also rounded the corners and I've inked up the edges. Looks lovely. And that will then pop in my little pocket, and I can fit a few of those in that little pocket because we've got the tabs on there. And that looks great, and that pops in. What we've also got in this kit is this here, and this is designed as a little folder, a little file folder if you like. So we can fold this in half, and we can pop a little bit of ink around these edges. Oh, I don't know if I've said this on a video yet or before. My Cricut recently broke. I had a Cricut Maker and it was really underused because I never cut felt or leather or fabrics or anything like that. So it broke and I had to get a new one, and I got the Explore 4, and oh my gosh, I can recommend that so highly. If you are in the market for getting a new Cricut machine, or you're thinking of buying one, absolutely go for it. It's about half the price of the Maker, and if you just want it for paper and card and light materials, the speed of the thing is amazing. Anyway, let's crack on. Here we go with the little folder. Here we are with our, I'm going to tip that upside down, with the index card. We've got our little slightly trimmed down version in there. That will fit beautifully in there, and so will my others, apart from this one, which I haven't trimmed down yet. That's the commercially available one. Your index cards will fit in there. You've then got space to write on the front and the back if you want to. Pop that in there so you can then organise your recipes should you wish. Right, there we go. That's that. Let's pop the lid on. We've got some long sentiments to go along the side. Don't have to use them if you don't want to. I've got happiness is homemade. Which am I going to call the front? Doesn't really matter, does it? We've got happiness is homemade, so I'm going to glue that on now. Oh, do you know I haven't blooming inked the edge, have I? What a twit. Yeah, the Cricut 4, the Explore. Yeah, Cricut Explore 4. It's knocked my socks off. It really, really has. It is so fast and so good. I'm absolutely converted. And if I can get this stuck down on here like that, I'll be very happy. Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that. Let's ink this one first. Need to get some more pads for my dauber here. Keeps dropping little bits. There. Let's pop this on the other side. Anything that's a flat piece of card going on top of a flat piece of card, I don't bother letting it go tacky. It's any way you need to be telling the paper to do, or the card to do something that's out of its normal realms of understanding. There we go, look at that. Gorge, gorge, gorge. I've got some little ones to go on the front here, and I can't remember where they are. We'll leave those for now and move on. Oh, you've got these three little guys here, and these three little guys were two. You've got a couple more there. You'll find them dotted about the kit. They were to do things like go on here, or even go on the front of your pocket, or up here. Ink one of those in around the edges. Write your own title on it. I haven't dictated any of these titles, and stick that wherever you might want to stick it, to name a recipe or to name a category of recipes, whatever your needs are. There we go. So that's those little guys. That's little that little pocket goes on the index cards. We've dealt with that. Where are we now? I do believe we're on to actually making the pop-up element itself, which is exciting. Let's go. We've got a little tab here. Score along the bottom of that. Don't score along the edge of the pattern. You'll see just inside that pattern there's a line for you to follow. Follow that line. Make a score. Fold it inwards that way, and then that is going to, doesn't matter which way around this one goes. This is your base here. We're going to tuck that in, and we're going to glue like that. So a bit of glue on your tab here, making sure this is all nicely lined up and butted down to the fold you've just made. Get that on there and stick, so that when you open up you've got this floor and you've got the wall here. This here is your matting panel for the top, and that sits directly on top. But we're not going to just stick that down, folks. No, we are not, because we've got this little bluey green, this duck egg colour here that I'm going to, actually I could round this, couldn't I? Let's round off me edge, just the one corner, the two sides if I can get it in straight. Oh gosh, I've made a right mess of that now. Can't get that straight, guys, because it's going in too far. That'll do. because it's so small it could slide in all the way, and it threw me. So I've rounded off my edge there. You don't have to do that, you can stick with a square edge. This little piece here is going to act as a closure for the whole of this pop-up card. So we want to slide this in here and it's going to fold. So I think, let's measure off the depth of this. That'll do fine. And just fold that there like that. This piece now, on the square edge that I've got, yours might both be square, so on the one half you want to pop some glue and you want to stick this in the middle of that top piece there, like that, nice and straight, Emma, nice and straight. There we go. Is that in the middle? Is it actually in the middle? Is that in the middle? There we go. Right, I'm just going to check this works. So my idea is, you see, this little piece here will either tuck into the drawer like that. That will keep the mechanism closed just perfectly. Actually, I haven't allowed there. Let's slide this down a little bit because I haven't allowed for the slight border that goes all the way around here. So slide that down. So you've got that little extra bit there that's enough to allow for that border. There we go. There we go. That'll do just fine. Let that dry on there. So you can see I've got that extra few millimetres there. Right, what next? Let's move on to the actual folding mechanism itself, which is this piece here, the actual stove. Now then, if you're on a Cricut machine and you're erasing the backgrounds, you can also click inside these little white stripes here, which is exactly what I intended to do and completely forgot to do it in my excitement. So I'm now going to have to go in and do these by hand, which is a bit of a fiddle. But there we are. If I was cutting by hand, I'd be on this anyway. I could do with better glasses. So I'm just going to make, carefully but confidently, these little slits. They're so close together, these lines. What a fiddle. But they'll be worth it. You just want to cut out a narrow little piece to allow your little cards. Could do with a new blade, I think. Definitely could do with new glasses. Go through that side. I'm not through on the other side. Try and go through the first time round, because heck, you don't want to be having to go over these fiddly little lines several times like what I am doing here. I'm cutting into my ruler, look at that. You've just got a tiny little sliver of card to take out when you're done and tidy up that edge. You just want them to enable these cards to slide in without any effort. There we go, that's going to work marvellously. Got just a bit of a fiddle to get there. There we go, I'm done. Not the tidiest job in the world, but it's absolutely fine and it'll do the job. And if you've got those some little bits of paper just hanging around in there, that will actually work in your favour, because you can still get this in and it's going to keep it nice and upright. So don't worry about that too much at all. And there's so much going on with this lovely little kit. Nobody's going to mind about that. Right, now we've got some scoring to do. Can use me scoring board, I guess. We've got this solid green line across the bottom here. We're going to score across there where it meets the stove. Okay, and then we're going to score the pink line here. Let's zoom in a little. The top of this pink line, where the pink line meets the actual cooker top there. And then we've got another one of those, and I think, let's just measure off to be sure. again, where the pink cooker top, where the pink line meets the cooker top. So on this side of the line, where it meets the cooker top, not where it meets the all the pots and stuff like that. Right, there we are. We can fold this now, and we're going to very carefully fold this piece here. We don't want to be folding this. It's quite fragile because of the slits that we've put in it. So just very carefully fold these two pieces. Printed side to printed side. And we want a nice sharp crease there. So let's go in with the folding bone. That's that one. This one we're folding the other way. So we're folding plain sides together. Can you see there okay, guys? Very carefully. Nice and slowly does it with that one. And again, a nice crease, very careful and mindful of these slits in here. There we go. And your bottom piece folds plain side to plain side. Right, zoom out of it. And let's stick this lovely thing in place. Now, where's my foldy bit? There it is. This depth here is the same as the depth of your cooker top, so you can butt this up and you can pop some glue on the bottom here. You can butt this up to your fold there and stick that down. And then what we can do is fold the cooker top over like this, bring this back round on itself. Is that nice and clear? So we're folding everything down. Let's fold everything down flat. Then we're folding this so we can see the cooker top, and then we're folding it back over on itself like that. So in theory, when we glue this top section of the cooker and bring the top down to meet it, when we open this up, we've got our cooker all beautiful, lined up, all central, all working exactly as it should. And now your little pieces here, these little pieces, you've got two pans and you've got a kettle. I haven't inked these up. Let's do that. Just a little bit, very gently, just to lose those white edges. There we go. And you do know about my angel policy, right? You can check out the Etsy description. You can make these things up for sale. Pop-up. You can't. I didn't ink around my edge. Ink around your edge before you stick that down, if you remember. Right, so I'm going to pop. Doesn't matter which way around these go, like I say. I'm going to pop my right hand pot in the rear slot there. I'm going to pop my kettle in the middle like that, and I'm going to pop my left hand pot in the front slot. There we go, look at that, we've got our 3D opening stove with our removable tags on there. Lovely, perfect. Right, what have we got now, guys? We've got a rug, we've got a card here, we've got this little pair of slippers. Don't lose your slippers. I'm going to ink my slippers. I'm going to ink all of these bits actually. Can't believe I forgot to ink my stove around the edge of my stove. So excited to get going with it, honestly. What a twit. And I'll ink around the edge of this piece as well, I think. Now there is a right side for this piece, and it is the piece with the lines on it. I've got my pair of slippers here. Pop pop those to one side for a minute, and I'm going to pop my rug in place. Actually, let's start with the slippers. I'm going to put glue just on the tips of this piece of card here in this shape, and I'm going to actually make sure I haven't got too much glue because I don't want it to splurge up too far. I'm going to pop my slippers down over the top of it like that, so that lines up perfectly, and that is going to be the sliding tag that fits underneath the rug. The slippers are going to go on the top in the end, but you want to make sure that when it's closed, your slippers are tucked inside, they're not sticking out over the edge. So do that, and then you know where to position your rug. Okay, so I'm going to go here with my rug, and then take my slippers off. So I'm going there with my rug. Can you see that? I'm making a shadow there with the back of the card. Just about there. So I'm going to glue 3 sides. I'm going to glue both sides and the top of the rug, the side of the rug that's closest to the cooking stove. And I'm going to glue that there like that and let that dry. Oh look, it's an absolute charm. It's lovely. Right, while that glue is drying, I can pop my matting card panel onto the front here. I didn't allow for making this into a pocket. You easily could. You could glue 3 sides of this, choose your 3 sides. You could make a pocket out of this as well and adapt it a little. You could even thumb cut a side and have an index card peeping out there. There's the front. Line that up nicely. Look at that, looks beautiful. So subtle and pretty. And then we can actually go ahead and we can glue this back on now. You could also make a pocket out of this, you know, any big panel that you're gluing down, you could potentially make a pocket out of. But I'm gluing mine hard down. There we are. And glue that down. Now this has got a slight border sticking over the edge, and you'll remember that we allowed a little bit of a few millimetres there for our closure to get it round the border before it actually folded. There we go. There we go. I'm going to have to, I think I'll take my pocket out. My box out. So I can squish this, can't I? There we are. Squish that like that. And stick that down. Took me ages to design this one. I was so meticulously careful about what I wanted, and then I thought about putting these little sliders actually in the pop-up, and it looks really, really well, really well. Right, I'm going to give that a minute to dry, guys. Here we go. It's had a couple of minutes. I've got a couple of words here I want to stick on the front there. I'm going to pop "Made with Love." Or should I put "Recipes to Cherish"? I was going to put that one inside, actually. You've got a few options, and you've also got your own little cards. You can write your own little cards there as well. I'm going to put "Made with Love" down there. I could put "Recipes to Cherish" up there. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Right, so, okay, let's pop our sleeve. I've also done a bit of inking off camera as well while these were drying. So we've got our little box sleeve here. We can tuck our little closure into the end of that box sleeve and it'll do just fine. It'll do a grand job. Or if you want to, you can take a little sentiment. You can do both. You can have both options. You can pop a little bit of glue. either side, leaving a gap in the middle. Pop your little sentiment on like that. We'll take that out for now. Just, you know, there it is. There we go, stick that on. Here is your rug with your little hidden tag. Your little hidden tag, if I haven't glued too severely. Let's get my little ruler up there. It's like an operation now. Just want to free up a little bit of that edge there. Let it know that it's a pocket. Just get in carefully. There, like that, and that should give me enough room now to pop my tag in. If you over glue, you can always trim down, it's no biggie. There we go. And your slippers, tuck outside of the rug, just like that. How fabulous. Right guys, we're done. You've got your little, that doesn't know that it's supposed to be a little tuck spot yet, does it? It does now. There. Not brilliant. If I'd have glued a little bit more, a little bit that to make that a little bit tighter, that'd work much better. But I'm going to pop it in the front of the box. That works absolutely fine. So there we go. Here is our finished box. We've got the lovely stove on the front. We've got some sentiments on the side. We've got a sentiment on the front and one at the bottom here. Open it up and we're revealing our stove with its beautiful little removable slider cards there. And then we've got this little hidden gem here. We've got this hidden card in the rug. I might trim my sides down just slightly, give myself a little bit more room. I mean, I might trim just a little tiny bit off here just to make that a little easier on myself. I glued a little bit too wide on my edges, but there we are. Right, and then inside you've got this lovely folder. You don't have to use those, or you can use several of those. And then inside there we've got our recipe cards, our index cards, and we've got index cards with pockets as well. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really happy with that. I've been happy with this little creation all the way through. Or you could pop a brad in there if you wanted to. You could pop yourself a little handle in there. There we go, guys. I hope you love it as much as I do, and I will see you next time.